We now know the entire starting grid for the 24 Hours of Le Mans in 2025. The Hyperpole sessions recently finished, and they were epic this year, especially in the Hypercar field. And honestly, I think we are in for one of the best 24-hour endurance races at Le Mans in recent history. And that's all going to be taking place this Saturday and Sunday. So this is a report on everything that happened during the qualification from Thursday's Hyperpole sessions for this year's Le Mans 24-hour. By the way, it's important for you to know that there were some changes to the Hyperpole system for this year, as LMP2 and LMGT3 have now combined for on-track activities, while there will be 4 total Hyperpole sessions, 2 for LMP2 and LMGT3, and 2 for the Hypercar class. I'll begin with that flagship category of Hypercar, and before either of the 2 sessions got underway, the previous qualifying session took place and really changed up the order. 15 cars would make it through, but unfortunately we would lose 6. Initially, these were the cars that didn't make it through, which were the 2 Aston Martin Valkyries, the 2 Peugeot 9X8 Hypercars, the number 99 Proton Competition Porsche, and the number 7 Toyota GR010. Originally, all 3 factory Porsches would make it through, but the pole-sitting car from last year, the number 6 Porsche, would eventually be disqualified after failing technical inspection, which allowed the 009 Aston Martin to get into Hyperpole in a surprising turn of events. Cadillac's V-Series R entries would attract the most attention during the sessions on Wednesday and Thursday, with the number 12 Hertz Team Jota car on top in qualifying, and Cadillac continued to show strong pace throughout Hyperpole. But this session would see a few dramatic moments. One of those moments was when the fastest at the time number 5 Porsche Penske had a tire come loose and fall off on the way to the pits, which actually blocked the pit lane, and prevented this car from getting another solid lap to try and make it through to the second session on Thursday. Ferrari were also surprisingly struggling. Not only were the defending winners struggling to be in the top 5, but they were also having a hard time on making it through to Hyperpole as well. In fact, Yeti-Blue was unable to get a decent lap in the number 83 Ferrari from AF Corsa to get into the next session. And the even bigger shock was that the 2023 winner, the number 51 Ferrari, would also not make it through to the final shootout. Just like in qualifying, up at the front, Cadillac would end up on top in Hyperpole 1, but this time it would be Jack Aitken that went fastest overall in the 311 Whelen Cadillac V-Series R. However, these would be the entries that didn't make it through to the Hyperpole shootout, which included those struggling Ferraris and the Aston Martin Valkyrie. Immediately in Hyperpole 2, there would be drama as Sebastian Buemi locked up and went off track in the number 8 Toyota, which unfortunately ruined the 4-time Le Mans winner's chances at getting a strong result in the session. Porsche Penske Motorsport very quickly went to the front with the number 5 and number 4 cars, and towards the end of the session, the battle for pole was really intense between Cadillac, Porsche, and even BMW. In 2024, it was Porsche that denied Cadillac pole at Le Mans, but this year in 2025, the situation would be reversed. Alex Lynn would go ahead of Mathieu Jaminet's number 5 Porsche and set a phenomenal lap time of a 3-minute 23.166 in the number 12 Cadillac for Hertz Team Jota, to take pole with the sister car, the number 38 Cadillac, slotting in right behind to make it a Cadillac 1-2 at the 24 Hours of Le Mans, with the number 5 Porsche in third. Dries Vanthoor would then finish in 4th in the number 15 BMW from Team WRT, and the number 4 Porsche Penske of Nick Tandy would complete the top 5. Cadillac's amazing results would give the American manufacturer their first pole at Le Mans since joining the grid 75 years ago. And this was also the first time an American brand was on pole overall Le Mans since 1967, when the Ford GT40 Mark V qualified on top. Moving on to the Hyperpole sessions in LMP2, and the first Hyperpole would feature 12 Oracle 7 entries in the session, following these cars which I've placed on screen, losing out to making it through, which included a surprise exit for Andre Lauderer in the number 18 EDEX Sport Orca, which has actually been dominating the ELMS series, winning the first 2 rounds so far. Then, at the end of Hyperpole 1, the cars that would be knocked out would be the number 28 EDEX Sport entry, both Algarve Pro Racing cars, and the number 48 VDS Panis Racing Orca. During the fight for pole in the final session of LMP2, United Autosports and Inter Europole looked good to fight for the pole position, with last year's pole sitter Louis Delatraz not being able to improve to the fastest overall time. But then the experienced Swiss racer Matthias Besch put in a great lap to go ahead of Inter Europole's number 43 car and take pole in the LMP2 class for TDS Racing. And like I mentioned before, it would be the Inter Europole car in second, followed by Delatraz in the 199 AO by TF Spike car, and the 2 United Autosports entries would complete the top 5. Finally, for LMGT3, the fight for pole would also be intense. In qualifying, we would lose all these cars which I've pictured on screen, with the number 46 BMW going fastest at the time. In the very first Hyperpole session, there would be an early red flag as Francesco Castellecci spun in the number 54 Vista AF Corsa Ferrari. And later, the number 95 McLaren from United Autosports would also have troubles because it stopped near the Daytona chicane. But nevertheless though, the session would continue for both LMGT3 and the LMP2 class, because remember, those P2 cars were out on track at the same time, and the number 46 BMW from Team WRT would once again end an LMGT3 session on top, with Zigo Sport Tempesta's Ferrari, the number 88 Ford Mustang from Proton, and the troubled 95 McLaren all failing to progress. In Hyperpole 2, where the fight for pole would happen, the battle would be extremely close, mainly between Rossi's BMW, the Heart of Racing Aston Martin, and the number 21 Vista AF Corsa Ferrari. But ultimately, it would be Mattia Drudi that would end the session on top in the number 27 Heart of Racing Aston Martin, giving the British manufacturer their first pole at Le Mans since 2019, when Aston Martin Racing took pole in the GTE Pro category. Just 3/10 back from the Vantage GT3 would be the number 21 Ferrari, with Valentino Rossi putting in another great lap to get the number 46 BMW into third. Then came a very surprising entry, the number 61 Mercedes from Iron Lynx, as the Italian squad gave Mercedes their best starting position in LMGT3 to date, with the number 92 First Form Porsche completing the top 5 in this category. So that completes my Hyperpole report for the 2025 24 Hours of Le Mans. With the grid now set, all that's left is for the big race to begin, which is starting at 4 p.m. local time this Saturday.